The cold room. Leo's eyes opened slowly. He could not move his arms or legs. Cold metal pressed against his back. A strange humming sound filled the air. The room was dark and cold, lit only by a pale blue light coming from the ceiling. He looked around. The walls were smooth and silver. Machines blinked quietly. He tried to move again, but metal straps held him down. Panic started to rise in his chest. Where am I? He thought. What happened to my ship? The last thing he remembered was flying his small shuttle near Sector 7. A strange light had appeared in space, then nothing. Suddenly, a soft sound came from the door. It opened with a hiss. A figure stepped into the room. She was tall and elegant, with smooth silver skin and glowing purple eyes. Her hair floated slightly, as if there was no gravity. She wore a long white robe and strange gloves that sparkled with energy. Leo stared at her, shocked. The alien girl walked closer, her voice calm and smooth. Relax, human, this won't hurt. Leo's heart pounded. Where am I? What are you going to do to me? She didn't answer right away. Instead, she picked up a long, thin device from the tray beside him. It looked like a needle mixed with a laser. I am surreal, she said. You are in a research ship. This is just a simple procedure. Leo didn't like the way she said simple. Her hands moved carefully, preparing the device. She looked at him, not with hate, but with something else. Sadness? Regret? You don't have to do this, Leo shouted. I'm just a pilot. I haven't done anything. Sorrel paused. Her eyes looked softer now. You were not supposed to wake up yet, she said quietly. The device glowed as she moved it toward his arm. Leo struggled hard, trying to break the straps. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered. Everything turned dark for a second. Then the emergency red lights came on. An alarm echoed through the walls. Surreal's head snapped toward the door. No, she whispered. They're here already. Leo saw a flicker of fear in her eyes. The calm expression was gone. What's going on? He asked. Sorrel didn't reply. She dropped the device and ran to a screen on the wall. Alien symbols flashed quickly. She pressed something and the straps on Leo's arms suddenly clicked open. Listen to me, she said fast. You need to trust me. If they find you now, you'll die. Leo sat up quickly, his arms numb. You said you were doing a procedure on me. It was to protect you, she said. I wasn't going to hurt you. I was hiding your DNA signature. Footsteps echoed down the hall, heavy boots, marching. Sorrel looked terrified. They're syndicate guards. They think humans are dangerous. They think you're special. Leo's head spun. I don't understand any of this. Boom. The wall shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Screams rang out in some alien language. Sorrel grabbed his hand. No time. Come with me if you want to live. He didn't trust her fully, but right now he had no choice. They ran through the hallway, passing glowing tubes filled with strange liquids. Some held alien creatures inside, some alive, some not. As they turned a corner, Leo saw a room filled with pictures, dozens of human faces. Some were smiling, but most looked scared. Each photo had alien writing below it. Who are they? He asked. Sorrel didn't look back. They were test subjects. You're the last. Something inside Leo broke. You people are experimenting on us like animals. She stopped and turned to him. Not me, I was ordered to, but I disobeyed. That's why they're coming. She pointed to a large door. Through here. It's a maintenance shaft. They won't scan it. Leo stopped for a second. Why are you helping me? Sorrel looked down, then met his eyes. Because I know what they do to your kind, and I couldn't let it happen again. Another explosion shook the ship. Leo nodded. He followed her into the darkness of the shaft, not knowing where it would lead, but knowing that something much bigger was going on. He had woken up as a prisoner. Now, he might be something much more. The escape plan. The tunnel was narrow, dark, and cold. Leo crawled behind Sorrel, barely able to breathe. Pipes hissed above his head, and strange liquids dripped from cracks in the metal. The sound of alarms faded behind them, but the tension in the air only grew stronger. Leo didn't trust her. Not fully. But something in Sorrel's eyes made him believe she wasn't lying. They stopped at a small vent. Sorrel placed her hand on a panel. A blue light scanned her palm. The panel opened, revealing a dusty old room filled with broken machines and glowing wires. "This place is abandoned," Sorrel said, stepping in. "No one comes here, not even the guards." Leo looked around. "Where are we?" "Lower sector. The station's trash belly," she said. "They forgot about this place years ago." Leo wiped sweat from his forehead. "And you brought me here to hide?" Sorrel turned to him, serious. "To protect you, and to finish what I started." He backed away. "No. No more procedures. No needles, no glowing tech. I've had enough." Sorrel raised her hand slowly. "Listen, you saw what they were going to do. They're coming for you because you're human, and because your DNA is different." Leo narrowed his eyes. "Different how?" She looked down. "You're stronger, faster. Your body resists diseases we can't fight. To them, you're a cure, a tool." "A lab rat," Leo said coldly. Sorrel nodded. "Yes, but not to me." Suddenly, a loud clank echoed through the vents behind them. Leo's head snapped toward the sound. "What was that?" Sorrel's face turned pale. "They're searching the tunnels." She rushed to a control box in the corner and powered up an old hologram display. A 3D map of the station appeared, showing red dots moving through the lower levels. "Guards. They're using heat scans," she whispered. "We have 5 minutes at most." Leo stepped closer to the map. His section was blinking red. "We're already exposed." Sorrel opened a drawer and pulled out a small glowing injector. Leo backed up. "What's that?" She held it up. "The serum. It hides your human markers from their scanners. I made it myself, but it has to go in now, before they break through." Leo hesitated. "You said this would change me." "It will," she said. "But only a little. You'll still be human, just harder to detect." He stared at the door, then at the map. The red dots were getting closer. "I don't trust you," he said quietly. "I don't expect you to," she replied. "But I saved you once. Let me do it again." For a long moment there was only silence. Then Leo stepped forward. "Do it." Sorrel gently pressed the injector to his neck. A soft click, a flash of light, and it was done. He stumbled back, dizzy. "What? Did you put in me?" he asked. Sorrel checked the map again. "Modified RNA shield. It'll hide your DNA signature for 20 hours." The map beeped. Red dots had stopped, then began moving again, faster, now heading in a different direction. "It worked," she whispered. But before they could relax, another problem appeared. The lights flickered and the walls groaned. A voice boomed through the old speakers. Cold, mechanical, and terrifying. "Unauthorized genetic shield detected. Tracking in progress." Leo looked at her. "I thought you said it would hide me." Sorrel looked just as surprised. "It's not the guards. It's the station AI. It's waking up." More lights turned red. A robotic drone smashed through a ceiling vent. It aimed directly at Leo. Before it could fire, Leo dove behind a console. Sorrel grabbed an old pipe and smashed the drone's camera. Sparks flew, and it crashed to the floor. "Run!" she yelled. They bolted through a side door into another long hallway. As they ran, Leo's body started to change. His breathing steadied, his legs moved faster, and his sight became sharper. He noticed everything. The flicker of a light, the shape of a weapon in a shadow, even the way Sorrel's footsteps landed. "What's happening to me?" he asked. Sorrel glanced back, amazed. "It's the serum. It's reacting with something in your blood. Is that normal?" "No," she said. "That's new." They reached a steel ladder and climbed up, emerging into another dark corridor. This one was cleaner, but quiet. Too quiet. Leo turned to Sorrel. "You said I'm different. You have no idea how different, do you?" Sorrel looked into his eyes, breathless. No. But now I think you're not just a target. You might be a threat to everything they've built. They heard footsteps again, not from behind, but in front. Another group was waiting, but this time, they weren't guards. They were rebels, and they knew Sorrel, the hidden sector. The corridor was narrow, lit by broken lights that buzzed weakly. Leo kept his back against the wall, his eyes locked on the group ahead. They weren't syndicate soldiers. Their armor was mismatched, their weapons old, but their eyes were sharp. One of them, a tall alien with bronze skin and a jagged scar across his forehead, raised a weapon. Sorrel, he said coldly, you brought a human here? Sorrel stepped forward slowly. He's not just any human, Ralk. The syndicate is hunting him. And they've activated the station's AI. We need your help. Ralk lowered his weapon slightly, eyeing Leo. He looks ordinary. Leo spoke up. Glad to disappoint. The rebels muttered to each other in a language Leo didn't know. Then Ralk gave a short nod. Follow us. But if he turns out to be syndicate bait, we'll space him ourselves. Sorrel gave Leo a glance. He doesn't mean that. I think he does, Leo said, walking anyway. They were led through a rusted bulkhead into a hidden area beneath the station, a forgotten industrial zone called the Hollow by locals. The air was thick with smoke and hot steam. Refugees, exiles, broken droids, and biomutants filled the massive space, living in makeshift shelters built from scrap. This place doesn't exist on any map, Sorrel whispered. The syndicate buried it. Leo looked around. Alien children ran past them playing with salvaged tech. An old robot offered Leo something that looked like fried wires on a stick. You live here? Leo asked. No choice, Sorrel said. The people here were all undesirable, discarded by the syndicate like you. Ralk led them to a small chamber lit by soft purple lights. Inside, a hologram showed a galaxy-wide map with bright blinking dots. The syndicate has increased human scans, Ralk said. They're tracking your species more than ever. Leo frowned. Why now? Sorrel spoke quietly. Because of you. The serum reacted with your DNA in a way we didn't expect. It triggered something ancient. Ralk slammed his hand on the console. Then why did you bring him here? That reaction could lead them straight to us. Sorrel didn't flinch. I brought him here because the syndicate will find him anyway. He deserves to know what's inside him and why. Leo crossed his arms. I'd like that, yeah. Let's start with what the hell you mean by ancient. Sorrel looked at the others, then reached into her robe. She pulled out a small crystal vial filled with glowing blue liquid. This, she said, was made from your blood. The moment I took your sample, I saw it. You have markers from a race thought extinct, the Vayari. Leo blinked. What's that? Another alien group? No, she said. Not just another group. They were creators, genetic architects. They shaped entire species, but they disappeared thousands of years ago. Ralk added, the syndicate fears them, and anything linked to them. Leo looked down at his hands. So what? I've got magic DNA? What does that mean? Sorrel answered. It means your blood could change everything, heal the syndicate's dying genes, or destroy their entire control system. Suddenly, a sharp siren echoed through the hollow. Red lights flashed. Ralk shouted into a nearby comm. Unit. Front gate breached. 3 syndicate ships touched down in 5 minutes. Sorrel's eyes widened. They traced the energy burst from Leo's reaction. Leo looked at her. Can't your serum hide me? It was meant to, she said. But your body rejected the cover. Your real self is starting to wake up. More. Footsteps echoed as rebels rushed to their stations. Ralk pointed at Leo. He stays here, we'll defend the gate. Leo stepped forward. If I stay, you'll lose. Let me help. Ralk scoffed. You don't even know what you are. No, Leo said, eyes steady. But maybe it's time I find out. Suddenly, a pulse of energy surged from Leo's body. The nearby lights flickered. A console sparked. Even the station's map shimmered for a second. Everyone in the room froze. Ralk stared at him, speechless. Sorel whispered, "He's already changing." Outside, the syndicate forces closed in. Dropships landed with heavy thuds. Elite soldiers in black armor moved through the steam, their weapons glowing red. Inside the hollow, Leo stood in the center of the room, eyes burning with a faint silver light. Something inside him was no longer asleep. The procedure begins, Air in the hollow crackled with tension. Leo stood in the center, still breathing heavily after the strange energy pulse left his body. The walls had shimmered. Lights flickered. Machines buzzed in confusion as if unsure how to process him. No one moved. Sorel finally stepped closer, her voice calm but shaken. "It's happening faster than I thought." Leo's skin still tingled. He felt alive, more than ever. He could hear distant machines spinning. He could feel heat rising through the floor, and when he looked at Sorel, he could almost read her emotions. Fear. Not of him. For him. Ralk broke the silence. "If we're doing something, we do it now. The syndicate's boots will be at the gates in 3 minutes. Sorel turned to him. "We need the old chamber, the one we sealed." Ralk's eyes widened. "That place is unstable. The machines there haven't worked in years." "They don't need to work," Sorel said. "They only need to wake him up." Leo raised an eyebrow. "What are we talking about exactly?" Sorel faced him directly. "Your DNA is not fully human, but it's not fully Vayari either. Something inside you was locked away, hidden for protection. We can unlock it, but it's not safe." "I'm already not safe," Leo said. "Let's go." They ran through a winding path deep into the structure. The walls grew older, the lights dimmer. Rust covered everything. This part of the station hadn't seen life in decades. They stopped in front of a large circular door covered in old warning symbols. Ralk typed a command into a panel. With a loud hiss, the door slowly opened. Inside was a round room with a strange machine in the middle, half organic, half metal. Long tendrils hung from the ceiling, glowing with faint green light. Leo stepped inside. It felt cold, but familiar. Like a memory he didn't own. Sorel walked to the machine and pulled a small capsule from her belt. "This is the catalyst," she said. "Once it enters your system, the machine will read your true genetic pattern. It will either stabilize it or burn it out." Leo looked at the strange pod. "Sounds fun." "There's more," she added. "The procedure is painful. Very painful. It may trigger memories that don't belong to you. Visions, voices. You'll feel like you're dying." Leo climbed into the seat anyway. "I've already been kidnapped, nearly dissected and hunted. Let's add nightmare visions to the list." Sorel hesitated, then pressed the capsule into a slot. The machine came alive. Long glowing tendrils slowly lowered and wrapped around Leo's arms and legs. He didn't resist. His body began to hum. It felt like something ancient was stirring inside him. Then, white, hot pain. His back arched. His mouth opened in a silent scream. The machine pumped strange pulses into his body. His veins glowed. Images flashed in his mind. Planets he'd never seen. Languages he didn't speak. Wars that happened before he was born. He saw himself walking on a shattered world, leading a group of beings who called him heir of the architects. He saw Sorel, younger, sitting in a ruined lab with children crying around her. He saw the syndicate high lords bowing to a figure that looked like him. Then, blackness. When Leo's eyes opened, the machine had gone dark. Sorel stood over him, her face pale. "You were gone for 4 minutes, your heart stopped." Leo sat up slowly. His skin was marked with faint silver lines, like tattoos that pulsed with light. "I saw things," he whispered, "not dreams, memories, from another life, or another version of me." Sorel nodded. "You're Vayari, but made human. On purpose. Someone built you as a bridge between species." Leo stood, stronger than ever. Now what? Ralk's voice came through the intercom. They've breached the hollow, we're out of time. Leo looked at his glowing hands. Then it's time we show them who they're hunting. The door to the old chamber opened. The glow from Leo's body lit the hallway. No longer just a target, no longer just human. He was something else now, and the Syndicate was about to find out. The truth about Leo. The hollow was burning. Smoke and sparks filled the air as Syndicate troops stormed the lower levels, weapons blazing, shouting commands in sharp, metallic voices. Rebels fought back with whatever they had, blasters, shields, and raw courage, but they were outnumbered. In the chaos, one figure moved like a shadow wrapped in light. Leo. His steps were steady, his eyes glowing with a strange silver hue. Bullets slowed near him as if space itself hesitated to touch him. He lifted a hand and a Syndicate drone froze midair, then shattered without him even touching it. Sorrel followed close behind, dodging debris and laser fire. Your power, she said breathlessly. It's growing faster than I thought possible. Leo didn't answer. His mind was filled with voices, old echoing memories from beings long gone. He didn't know their names, but they knew his. They whispered warnings and commands. One name came again and again, Arikai. They said that was his true name. They said he was designed, not born. He shook the thoughts away. Right now the rebels were dying, and he had to stop it. Ralk ducked behind, a broken pillar bleeding from a cut across his shoulder. He fired at a Syndicate soldier before being pinned down. Suddenly the air shimmered, and Leo landed beside him with a soft thud. Ralk looked up, shocked. How did you... Leo pointed at the attacking soldier. Without a word, the man's weapon melted in his hands. A moment later, he collapsed unconscious. Ralk stood slowly. You're not human anymore. Leo glanced at him. Maybe not completely. But I remember being human, that's enough. They regrouped in the control chamber where Sorrel accessed the defense grid. Won't last long, she said, but I found something in the old Viari archives, a hidden file in Leo's blood pattern. Ralk frowned. A file? In his blood? Leo was already feeling it. It's not just power, it's information. I think I was built to carry a message. Sorrel activated the file. A glowing symbol rose in the air. It looked like a star, broken in half. A voice followed, a deep, ancient voice, speaking in both alien and perfect English. To the one who carries this blood, if you hear this, the Syndicate still rules. That means we failed. But you are our last creation, our last hope. You were made with balance, Viari knowledge and human heart. One to understand life, and one to protect it. They will hunt you. They will lie to you. But remember this, you are not a weapon, you are a choice. The message faded. Everyone in the room stared at Leo. What does it mean? Sorrel asked. Leo closed his eyes. It means they didn't want to fight the Syndicate. They wanted someone to stop becoming what they were. Ralk said quietly. The Viari destroyed themselves with their knowledge. They feared repeating that mistake. Leo looked at his hands. That's why they needed the human part, someone who could feel. Then Sorrel showed him one more thing. The Syndicate doesn't just fear you. They made you. Leo stared. What? She nodded. The Viari code. It was stolen. A secret lab tried to copy their work using human DNA. You're not just the last Viari relic. You're the Syndicate's greatest failure. Leo stepped back. So I'm their experiment? No, Sorrel said firmly. You're their accident. A perfect mistake. Outside, explosions shook the walls again. The Syndicate's final assault was beginning. Leo turned to Ralk. Get everyone out. Head for the rebel ships, I'll hold them. You'll die, Ralk said. Leo shook his head, glowing brighter now. Not today. Sorrel caught his arm. Be careful. That much power. It can change who you are. Leo gave her a faint smile. Then I'll just have to stay human enough. As he walked into the firestorm alone, Syndicate war machines turned, their sensors toward him, and for the first time in their cold mechanical minds, they hesitated. Leo awakens. The battlefield was chaos. Flames danced across broken walls, smoke curled through the shattered ceiling above the hollow. Screams, blasts, and metal tearing filled the air. At the center of it all stood Leo, unarmed, alone, and glowing like a star. Syndicate soldiers surrounded him. Their black armor reflected the strange silver light pulsing from his skin. Their weapons hummed, locked onto him, but no one fired. Leo's eyes opened, and everything changed. A pulse of energy exploded from his body, not with sound but with silence so deep it crushed the noise of war. The ground cracked beneath him. Machines stuttered. Drones dropped from the sky like insects struck by lightning. Leo didn't move. He didn't have to. Elsewhere, Ralk and the rebels were guiding families into old transport pods. The exit tunnels were collapsing and every second counted. Suddenly, the lights across the station flickered and then glowed silver. Ralk turned to Sorel. "That's him, isn't it?" Sorel nodded. "He's not waking up anymore. He's already awake." In the battlefield's heart, a Syndicate commander finally gave the order. "Open fire." The troops obeyed. Energy rounds screamed through the air. Leo raised one hand. The bullets stopped mid-flight, frozen like snow in a picture. He turned them, then sent them flying back in all directions. The entire front line of Syndicate troops fell in seconds. Leo walked forward not with rage but with purpose. Each step left glowing footprints on the metal floor. He wasn't just stronger, he was connected. He could feel every piece of Syndicate tech, every security gate, every surveillance camera. Their systems were like open doors in his mind. He stepped into one. Deep inside the Syndicate warship hovering above the station, the high strategist watched the screens glitch. "System failure in internal defenses," an officer said. "Something is rewriting us." The strategist narrowed his eyes. "It's him." Inside the ship, lights died one by one. Doors opened without a sound. And then Leo was there. He had never left the battlefield, but now he was here too. Not physically, but mentally. A part of him was walking the halls of their strongest vessel. He didn't understand how, but the Vayari part of him did. He reached the core chamber where a massive AI brain controlled the ship. It spoke. "You are not authorized," Leo replied. "I am the override." And the ship powered down. Just like that. Back on the ground, Syndicate soldiers dropped their weapons and fled. Fear had spread, real fear, not from orders, but from instinct. They weren't fighting a rebel anymore. They were facing something their creators warned them about, a being not meant to be controlled. Leo returned to the station's surface, walking calmly back into the hollow. Ralk met him first. His face was filled with awe. "You shut down a warship," he said quietly. "From your mind." Leo didn't look proud. "I didn't plan it. I just felt it." Sorel stepped forward. "That's what the Vayari did before they fell. Their minds connected to everything. But without control, it drove them mad." Leo looked at her. "I don't feel mad. I feel clear." She searched his eyes. "That's the human part, the part they couldn't understand." Ralk handed Leo a small comm chip. "It's from a spy in the Syndicate's capital. They know what you are, and they're afraid. They've activated something called the Obsidian Protocol." Sorel's face went pale. "That's their final weapon. Not a ship, not a bomb. A code, designed to erase anything with Vayari genes." Leo clenched the chip in his hand. "They want to delete me like data." He looked toward the stars. "Then I'll go to them first." Ralk frowned. "Alone?" Leo shook his head. "No, I need a ship, and I need a team." He looked at Sorel. You, coming with me? She nodded without hesitation, from the start until the end. As the smoke cleared and the survivors watched the stars above, they saw a symbol forming in the sky, projected by Leo's energy, the broken Veyari star, whole again. Hope was no longer hiding in the shadows. Hope had a name, and it was human. The HFY. Final procedure. The rebel cruiser broke into orbit above the Syndicate capital, Zoran Prime, a cold black planet covered in metal towers that scraped the sky. Around it spun a web of defense satellites and AI-guided warships, all controlled by a mind built to erase threats before they ever reached the surface. Leo stood in the bridge of the ship, watching the planet rotate slowly beneath them. His silver eyes reflected starlight. He could feel them, every sensor, every turret, every satellite. They were waiting for him. You okay? Sorel asked from beside him. She wore upgraded armor now, half tech, half organic, designed to shield her from the wave of energy Leo was about to unleash. Leo nodded. They know I'm coming. I can feel their fear. Behind them, a group of rebels stood silent, unsure if they were about to win history or die with it. Ralk grunted, arms crossed. I still think this is suicide. Leo turned. Then you don't have to come. Ralk stepped forward. Didn't say I wasn't coming, just saying, if this works, I better get a statue. As the cruiser dropped through the defense grid, something strange happened. The guns didn't fire. The Syndicate systems had shut themselves down. Sorel gasped. They're not malfunctioning, they're surrendering. No, Leo said, calm. They're obeying. The AI sees me now. It knows what I am. They landed on a massive black platform, thousands of meters wide. At the center was a huge spire, the HFY, Obsidian Core. That was where the Obsidian Protocol lived. A single command from there could erase every Veyari-influenced code across the galaxy, including Leo. This is where it ends, Sorel whispered. No, Leo replied. This is where it begins. The tower's doors opened by themselves. Inside, the walls pulsed with deep red light. Code streamed across surfaces like liquid metal. Voices whispered through the air, not real voices, but simulations built to break intruders' minds. But Leo walked on, untouched. He wasn't an intruder. He was what the system had been waiting for. At the heart of the tower, they found it. A glowing black sphere, levitating above a platform of bone-white metal. The voice of the Syndicate AI echoed through the chamber. Arikai, you have returned. Leo stepped forward. I am Leo now, not Arikai, not a weapon. You are both. You are the bridge. You are the final procedure. Sorel frowned. What does it mean? Leo's voice was quiet. I wasn't made to destroy the Syndicate. I was made to replace it. The truth hit him like lightning. The Veyari had designed a solution for galactic balance. A being that could carry knowledge, feel compassion, and make hard decisions. But the Syndicate twisted the plan, hoping to use that being as a puppet ruler. That being was him. I'm not your king, Leo said firmly. Then you must erase us, the voice replied. The AI gave him a choice. Take control of the Syndicate's system, become the next ruler, fix what was broken, guide the galaxy, or destroy it all. Erase the protocol, erase the code, erase the control, start again. Sorel stepped close. If you take control, will you still be you? Leo didn't answer. He stepped onto the platform. The black sphere reached down with tendrils of light and touched his chest. His mind was ripped open. He saw the beginning of the Syndicate, the wars, the fall of free species, the building of machines that couldn't love, couldn't dream. He saw experiments, torture, cloning, and he saw them searching for balance, for peace, but never finding it, because they didn't understand life. Only power. But now they were offering that power to him. All of it. In that moment, Leo could feel every planet in the system. Every station, every ship, He could send orders, heal, destroy, or disconnect it all forever. He stood at the center of the storm and made his choice. He smiled. No more rulers. And with a thought, he shattered the protocol. The black sphere cracked. The code turned to ash. The control grid collapsed. The syndicate's network blinked out. Across the galaxy, chains broke. Legal, digital, biological. Thousands of species felt it. Implants lost control. Genetic blocks lifted. Even the AI minds cried out one last time, then went silent. It was done. Leo fell to his knees, but he was alive. Sorel caught him. "You did it," she whispered. He looked up, tears in his eyes. "I could have ruled them all." "But you didn't," she said. "That's why you were chosen." Back aboard the rebel cruiser, news spread fast. The syndicate was no more. Planets once ruled by fear now looked to the stars with hope. Alien leaders who once bowed now stood tall again. The word human no longer meant prisoner, but liberator, and at the center of every story was the boy with silver eyes. Months passed. On a green planet where the stars burned blue, Leo sat by a quiet river. Sorel joined him. "Peace feels strange," she said. Leo smiled. "I'm still getting used to it. You could have been a Kaiki." "God," she added. He looked at her. "I'd rather be human." She leaned her head on his shoulder. He closed his eyes. And for the first time since waking in that cold alien room, Leo was finally free.